Last week, as we were finishing up dinner, as my city burned, I am from Minneapolis, my younger daughter asked me a question. Her mind racing with images on social media of the city where all of her grandparents and most of her relatives live. The city where both of her parents were born and raised. And the city she visits every year, associating it with good times, great memories, Twins games, Timberwolves, and Vikings games, the Mall of America, and the lush landscapes, the lakes, and family gatherings. Now replaced by these recent images, areas of our beloved city overcome with protests, flames, destruction, chaos, murder, and injustice. And so with these images in her mind, her question comes at me. Mom, would you go to a protest like that? I didn't need to ask what she was talking about. George Floyd's murder was all we had on our minds. But I still wasn't prepared for the question she asked me. Mom, would you go to a protest like that? I stalled. No, I answered, thinking about how difficult it would be for me in my current physical condition to keep up with the crowd or navigate the chaos. She wasn't letting me off the hook so fast. Okay then, I mean before your stroke. It wasn't until I began my critical study of this week's Torah portion that I really wished I had given her a different answer. And I'm thankful for the self-reflection that this Torah study has given me, and I hope it will be for you as well. Friends from all over have reached out to me because it is my city and they are just broken, not over the physical destruction of the city, but because of the physical murder of George Floyd. How could this happen? Again. The Torah portion we read this week, Parshat Naso, from the book of Numbers, wouldn't let me forget the answer I gave to my daughter. Because one of the main cornerstones of Parshat Naso is the priestly blessing, also referred to as Nisiat Kapayim, or the raising of the hands. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. The verses you just heard, as many of you know, make up the priestly blessing, Birkat Kohanim, the Hebrew word for the raising of the hands, Nisiat Kapayim, reminds us of the name of this week's Torah portion, Naso, meaning to lift up and also to take a census. But this isn't the first time I've seen this Hebrew word. The word Naso takes me all the way back to Genesis, where we find it used by Cain after he kills his brother Abel. He tells God, Gadol Avoni means so. My sin is too great to bear. Gadol Avoni means so. It is pretty incredible that this one Hebrew word, with the letters Nun, Sin, and Aleph, has taken me on a scavenger hunt through the Torah, finally leading me to perhaps the most relevant conversation in the Torah, and one that means everything to the events of these past 2 weeks. The gist of the conversation goes like this. And God said to Cain, "Where is your brother Abel?" And he said, "I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper?" And God said, "What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground, and now cursed are you from the ground." And Cain said to God, Gadol Avoni means so. My sin is too great to bear. Bearing the weight of murder is heavy, and I feel that. And what about how Cain responds to God with his own question, am I my brother's keeper? There is no more timely question than this. And really, when I think about it, it's the exact same question my daughter asked me. Mom, would you ever go to a protest like that? I know now, and I knew it at the time. that I gave my daughter the wrong answer. And all I hear is the echo of my answer to her. No, no. I'm taking full responsibility for my actions, and now I, like Cain, must bear my own sin of contributing to spilling my brother's blood on the ground. Gadol avoni means so. So much has been written about things we can do to support the Black community. For me, the very first step is by answering the famous question posed to God by the first murderer, and by answering my daughter's question, am I my brother's keeper? Mom, would you go to a protest like that? This Shabbat is the perfect time to face your own answer to this eternal question. So here we have it, 3 different uses of this word, naso, nisiat, and mean so. Parshat Naso begins with a counting, a census, but the Hebrew also means to lift up, and by reciting their names, we lift them up and we sanctify their memory. I ask you to repeat these names after me, as we do during the Vidui, the public recitations of our communal sins on Yom Kippur, where we take our fist and beat it against our heart. So please repeat these names after me. George Floyd, Sandra Bland, Walter Scott, Trayvon Martin, Oscar Grant, Philando Castile, Ahmaud Arbery, Tamir Rice, Breonna Taylor, and Eric Garner. Say their names, and there are hundreds of others, and sanctify their lives, that they may be for a blessing. Shabbat Shalom Umevorach.